Aloha, it's wonderful to see you. Our quick takeaway, which this video is going to be a great resource just for laying our fingers on the fretboard. We're going to have our first finger on the first fret of the third string, and then our second finger on the fifth string, the A string, and then the D string, the fourth string. With an open E, these two down for our E and A string covered. Our first string is on the G string to make a G sharp. Open B and an E, this gives us an E major. When we take off our first finger, it makes that major very much a minor chord, flattening that third to a flat 3. So the build for this chord would be a 1, 3, 5, E, G sharp, and B, and then a E, G, B as an E minor. We find that when we do our teeter-totter exercise and use our secondary fingering group to play these, we then can scoot these chords all the way up. So this week I would say get a good grasp on playing bar chords. When we play the E major and the A minor, those are the foundations for all of our other bar chords across the fretboard. So if we were to just go randomly up to the third fret and then play that same E major chord, we can walk up the concept of that being an E to an F at the first fret, and then an F sharp at the second fret, and a G at the third. So when we bar this and play an E major, the tone we have is a G major. It will look like your other G major chords and sound like it. Also, when we move that up the fretboard and get other different types of inversions, we'll be using chords like the C major that's down here. So all these shapes stuff get moved around. It's called the cage system, if you'd like to Google it and look it up. C-A-G-E-D. It's just a functional way of taking an A, part of the cage, C, A, G, E, and D, and then moving that shape up to get a bar chord with that shape. The long story short of this is, here is a major scale in the key of D. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp minor, or C sharp diminished, and then it resolves back into D major. The reason why those all sound fine and interesting is because we're going through a pattern of D to E is a whole step, E to F sharp is a whole step, F sharp to G is a half step, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, B to C sharp is a whole step, and C sharp to D is a half step, giving us 2 half steps and whole steps between every other interval. Therefore, we get a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That is a major scale. Everything else any guitar instructor or music instructor is going to teach you stems from those 3 basic concepts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. No matter what key we're in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 is always going to be a major scale. We manipulate that by flattening something 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. So we could get minor type scales over the top. We don't play a major chord and play a minor scale often. Generally not. What we do is we use the chords that influence major over major, minor over minor. Now here's the takeaway. On a piece of paper, if you were to write down C, D, E, F, G, A, B, all of those would be natural. As soon as you go 5 notes away, C, D, E, F, G, G has 1 sharp, it's F sharp. From there, we keep adding on fifths. This might not make sense, but check out one of my videos called The Circle of Fifths, or check out my Music Moments on Monday. These are all great videos to actually just start wrapping our brain around what music theory is, if you want to. If not, the rest of this video is going to be just to play music that you like. The song that we were working from had a G major, and it was walking down to a D major with an F sharp in the bass, and then it hit a blaring E minor. When we know that G, F sharp to the E minor, that same movement is going to be very versatile in many other things. A minor to a G, and then back to the D is also a very versatile movement. But not knowing what any of those chords are is a little hard. So I'm just going to take you through the majors and minors of all of your major 7s, okay? Here's a C major. First finger on the B string, first fret. Second finger on the D string, second fret. And third finger on the third fret on the A string. When we go to a C minor, we can play the C major up here using the A bass We would also still have a C, we would have a G, we'd have a C again, we'd have its minor third, we'd have a E, and our major third, E, and then we'd have another C. So between that, we have C, E, G. This is the third, so to have a minor, we have to flatten that. Rather than having a big old bar chord, we would make it look like our A minor shape. Hear the difference? And it all stems from the first thing we learned. A major, A minor. A minor looks exactly like an E major, but it's horizontally lower. So E major, E minor. A minor, A major. So hypothetically, you could play a F minor, F major. B flat minor, B flat minor, B flat major. And then this sort of system, we can do all the way up across the fretboard. That will show you how to play all majors and minors. But underneath the 5th fret, some chords look different. So here we go. D major. First finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Second finger is going to go on the E string up top, and then we're going to wrap our 3rd finger around for the 3rd fret there on the B string, giving a D major. When we keep this finger here, move this finger to that note, and then move that note to the 1st fret, we get a D minor, because we moved the F sharp to a F sharp to a F natural, giving you thusly a mysterious, sad, dark tone. The next one is our chord that we learned first, E major to an E minor, so that's easy. F major just scoots that up in the 2nd form and drops the 3rd for the F minor. G major, you could do the same thing, or you could play right here, which is a great way to do it, and then drop your 3rd, but that's an awful big stretch. Our A major, which is what we just talked about too, does an A major and drops our major 3rd, the C sharp, to a C natural, giving us an A minor. And then our B major looks exactly like our A minor and A major movement, except we're doing it here. So the takeaway from this episode, this session, is the recap is going to put us in the position to play all majors and minors just from this concept. Next time we see each other, and the next video I do, which will be a little bit longer than normal, it will talk about the 2 other types of chords. Today we talked about 2 of the 4, majors and minors. Next week will be diminished and augmented. Augmented will be the last thing we end on, but the diminished is the one thing we left out of this because it's the lending tone. We talked about B major and B minor because it's part of the C, D, E, F, G, A, B, but the B, the 7th, and C would be B diminished, which would sound like this. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A major, B diminished, and it resolves to C. See how that works? I hope you had fun today. I really enjoyed seeing you. The movement that you could be concerned with now is that both the low string and the high string are the same. So when you play G, the reason why it sounds full and open is because of that. But you don't necessarily always need that top note because you're playing it on the bottom. Okay? Other than that, I'm going to look at a little bit of music, see if I can find something that's in our ballpark and bring it to our attention next week that will help also stimulate the diminished and the augmented concepts. It's good seeing you. Aloha.